Thank you so much to Michael at Panhead Custom Ales Brewery for being able to share this recipe with us and make that dream come true. This is a great beer. Well, here it is, guys. It is my version of the Panhead Supercharger clone. Hello, happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers. That's a mighty fine drop right there. I got a little story to tell you. For this Christmas, the big day is Christmas Eve, December 24th. All of the families together. It's the big dinner. We have what's known as pinakjøtt here in Norway. It's a very, very popular Christmas dinner. It's basically sheep ribs, and we actually open the gifts on Christmas Eve. Kids love it, of course. When I was growing up, I remember we could open up one gift on Christmas Eve that our parents would say, okay, this is the one. Christmas morning, of course, would come around, and that's the typical Christmas morning. You open up all the gifts and have a great day. Here, though, it's a little bit different. So Christmas Eve is the big day, the big dinner. Then after dinner comes dessert. And then after dessert, clean up. And then after clean up, then we all get to sit around the tree and open up the gifts. When it comes to the family and having the families here, I sort of had an interesting retrospective because some of the gifts that were given to one of our younger teenage girls, my niece, she's interested in the sort of aspect of how these things occur. People who are your idols, people who you look up to, people that you follow, things, trends that they do, you want to be like them, you want to follow like them. And for her, it's like the Kardashians. Got these yellow work boots, and then you've got the flannel sort of shirts. Anyways, Kardashians, work boots, flannel shirts are in now, I guess, with the teenage girls. So, and of course she wanted some, and my niece was very happy to receive those. Over the moon. And I'm like, well, that's kind of interesting, because I remember being young and I remember sort of wanting to follow my idols at the time and dress like them and sound like them and be like them. I was like, wow, it's so nice to be grown up and not have to deal with that stuff anymore. But then as I get closer to this Homebrew Wednesday, I think about watching Paul Wicksteed. And Paul Wicksteed was one of those guys that you did just want to be like. He was like one of the first guys that I ever noticed that had a tulip glass when he was drinking like a IPA. So of course I saw him with it. So then I was like, I need to get myself some tulip glasses. So then I did. I saw him, he was probably one of the first guys that I saw with one of these Dogfish Head / Sierra Nevada collaboration glasses to come out with these, what is it, Spidola. I was like, well, that's a fancy looking butt plug. But he was drinking an IPA out of it. They're an IPA glass. Of course, it restricts the air at the top so that you get the full blossom or bouquet of aromas that are coming out of that beer. So, of course, Paul had one. I had to get one. And then there's this glass. This glass is a Tiku glass. It was actually designed by two guys, collaborated. One is, his name is Tio Musso. Musso? Yeah, Tio Musso. Is Italian, from Balladine Brewery in Italy. And also, it's an Italian sensory analysis beer expert. His name is Lorenzo Di Bova, something like that. Lorenzo Di Bova. But his nickname, it's like Quasica. Okay, so this glass name is Tiku. And it's a collaboration between Tio and Quasica. So they named the glass Tiku. That's where it comes from. And this is one of the last glasses that I saw Paul use for pouring in and drinking his Panhead supercharger. No, it was a real supercharger that he poured into it and drank out of it. Anyways, come back full circle, back to the story. Bit of a tangent there. So Paul had this glass, and If Paul had this glass, I had to have this glass. So it seems as though you never really outgrow those sort of desires to follow and be like the people that you idolize and appreciate. It's got a lot of very interesting notes. From this beer, I get a really nice sort of, it's a light hoppiness associated with it. It's citrusy, it's somewhat floral. It's a little bit of zesty. It's got some grapefruit in there. And just a hint of pine. I do get a hint of maltiness from it, and it's more like a biscuity sort of maltiness. Let's go ahead and take another dive. Cheers. All of those characteristics ring true. I mean, it's grapefruity, citrusy, a little bit of piney, floral notes are there. And then on the backness, it's a dry bitterness. It's definitely a dry bitterness. It sort of begs you to take another sip. Just a great beer. I really am looking forward to what your versions of this smell and taste like. What sort of things you think about this beer. That's all I've got for this week, guys. I hope you're having happy holidays. It's only another day till New Year's Eve, so if we don't speak to each other before then, happy holidays, happy New Year, happy brew beer, have a hell of a time, be safe, be kind, be good, well, within reason, but have a hell of a week, have a better weekend. Cheers.